Well, here we are. God, I don't know where this year is going already. This is the fourth in our series on grief. And yeah, we continue to work through the grief framework. We're still in the response and recognizing the process. So we're still talking about the process of grief at this point. Um, and so I'm going to put this piece in. We've got a couple of short pieces coming in. Let me hello, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, how are you? Where are you joining us from?
London.
London. Okay. You're welcome. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Me?
I'm going to hazard a guess it's your first time because I haven't seen you here before.
Yeah.
Um, right. What I'm doing is I'm putting a poem in the chat. I'm going to read it, and then it's just really just welcoming any reflection you have on it, and then we'll see what conversations come from it. We're, of course, going through our grief framework at the moment. So we're looking at recognizing when the process of grief is actually taking place. So this piece is a short one, in play. I'll read it. What's in play? Your state, this space, the season, all will be revealed through the power of noticing. So I'm going to read that again in play. What's in play? Your state, this space, the season, all will be revealed through the power of noticing. So, what are you hearing? What comes up for you when you hear those words?
Um, I would say, um, I would think like what's in play is me feeling peace within myself.
Hmm.
My state, I would say it feels stable, but it's not. Because I noticed yesterday is that I just thought of my mum for a few seconds, but is that it brought me down for
Hmm.
the last, is that it was worse than the last 2 months that I've been working on myself.
Hmm.
And this space, I would say, I earned the space where I was, my peace. I know it's always going to be there. However, there's something I need to deal with that I don't understand. The season, I guess I got a lot of things going on right now that I'm bouncing and shifting from one another.
Hmm.
And then that's kind of impacting everything that I said above.
Thank you so much.
And and will and all will be revealed through the power of noticing. And all will be revealed through the power of noticing. I would say for the last 2, 3 weeks, I've been trying to cut down my cravings and sugar and regulate myself,
Hmm.
which I've been doing very good. But for the last 3 weeks, but this last week, I noticed there was a little decline because I didn't show up for Saturday and Sunday for myself
Hmm.
because that was the relaxing day. Which the previous week it was still relaxing, but I still showed up, but I was just slowed down a bit, and I noticed that was a way of me not putting pressure on myself, and I felt calm, and it really helped. And in the following week, I thought, you know what, I've been doing really good, so let me just ignore it. And then I found out it took a big toll on me because this week I didn't feel as in peace within myself because of the way I've been thinking.
Hmm.
And yesterday I noticed I bought a packet of Red Bull, which I've been avoiding, like, and then I literally just binge drunk. I just drank all of it throughout the night, and I bought some sweets and chocolate, whatever, and then that contradicts everything I worked on. But then, it's like you said, the power of noticing is that. I notice that's not how I want to be or feel anymore. I'm honestly tired, and it's getting to a point is that it's like, okay, try to say is, um, yeah,
Yeah.
what I was trying to say was that it's like I got so much regret
Mm,
and I hate for myself that I didn't work on these things when I had time with her
mm,
because I've really realized now I can learn the hard way or the easy way. I will learn one of them, but I can learn the easy hard way. The easier way is easier, but going for the hard way felt normal, but it's not normal. There's another way, and I'm getting to a point now that I'm accepting
mm,
that I'm putting too much pressure on myself. I missed a lot, and even like learning things from other women, I would say,
mm,
like things you notice. It's that it's like I wish I'd done that more with her, and it really breaks my heart that I'm doing that with other people and not her.
mm.
But that's sort of thing I'm trying to understand more. But I know I should just think on the positive and move on. Yeah, I think. Yeah, see, like now, I was doing really good, and then just little things, and then yeah.
But that is the point, though. That's what this space is for. Is to normalize that when that emotion comes, that it's welcome. Because that's we're recognizing that there is a process, and this is the process. And if you don't mind me asking, because you said her, I'm assuming someone's passed in your life.
Yes, yes. Yes, my mum.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you very much for sharing that. Everything you've shared really just speaks to what the piece is trying to tease out. There's absolutely phenomenal power in noticing, because in the noticing is how you get to understand the relationship between the action, the consequence, and what's going on. And then the initial piece there I'm going to come to once I hear what Claudette has to say. I'll break that down, this idea of state, space, and season. We're going to look at what that means and how they relate to each other. Claudette, what's there for you, please?
Um, oh, thank you very much for sharing. I can't see the name.
Kevlin, I believe that is.
Kevlin.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Kevlin. Thank you.
Thank you
Um,
for listening.
um, I just came at the angle that it's the importance of taking a step back
Mm,
to notice, making time, making the space to be still so we
mm,
can notice that the time to reflect, the time to assess and evaluate what's going on in the mind.
mm,
Because I think sometimes the mind can run away with things, and then our emotions follow those things. And what the mind is telling us is not necessarily be what's really going on. So I think taking that time, I think also taking that time to be still and to reflect and assess quietly, but also helps to keep us calm
mm,
because it will impact on your emotions. So if you're putting pressure on yourself, that's a good. I think stepping back is can be a good way to help you to look at all the pieces,
mm.
and
Thank you.
that's what I see when I read this poem. So noticing is very powerful.
Yeah. So noticing is is the doorway into understanding what's going on and being to
Yeah,
read those relationships between it. And I love what you're saying there about emotions can follow our thinking, how we're thinking about something, then causes those emotions to come out. Um, hmm. And one of the things going back to what Kevin was sharing earlier is it's I'm hearing things like the diet I have has impact upon my state, right? That's what I'm hearing. And I'm starting to notice the relationship between my diet and my state, right? And I'm beginning to recognize that maybe I don't like that state. And if I've noticed that when I have this kind of diet induces that state, then I have to decide what I want to do about that, right? You get to choose then what you want to do about that. So this idea of state is being aware of. So all these things are levels of awareness, levels of noticing, because how each of these are will determine the overall experience you're having. So
yeah,
when you're clear about, okay, my state when I'm rested, my state when I have this kind of diet, my state when I'm thinking about these kind of things, right? So all those relationships begin to help you understand a bit better what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And if you can change this because I know it'll lead to that, then you get to choose whether to change that in order to. But if you don't notice those relationships, then you can't. Then you talk about space. So what's the space? So we can talk about physical space you're in, right? How is the physical space you're in serving you, serving the state you want to be in, serving the experience you want to have? Maybe certain places trigger you. Maybe they bring up certain things. Do you want it to bring those things up? If so, then you'd stay there. If you don't want, maybe you need to change the space you're in, right? So what adjustments can you make to your space which will impact your state, right? So that's the kind of relationship there. And then when we go down into season, which season of life am I in? So, Kevin, sorry to hear about your mom passing, but the season you're in right now is grieving that, right? That's and this whole part of this framework is recognizing that that is the process that is happening, right? And I'd encourage you to kind of look at. I'm not sure how you came to find about this, but there should be a link in there that shows you where to get to the rest of the series. Some of the things we've covered already, this idea of not to bottle down or try and, especially the last one we did, to allow your emotions to come out, not to question yourself and say, this shouldn't be this way. I should have gotten over this by now. None of those. It's making space for when someone has been part of your identity for so long, when someone, and you're talking to someone who birthed you, you understand what I'm saying? You couldn't, there's very fewer tighter bonds, right, than that. That person can now not no longer be in your life, and for you to go, well, I suppose I'll get over it. No, this is deep. This is something that's ingrained in your sense of identity and who you are. So it is expected to have impact. It is expected for waves of grief to come on you, because as you begin to reminisce and think about the impact and influence and some of the things you've said already about, oh, I would have loved to be having this experience with her. This would have been nice if I'd maybe paid attention to this when she was telling me that. You know what I'm saying? So, but these are all, there's nothing broken. We're not broken. We're just having a state because of the space we're in and because of the season we're in. Does that make sense?
mm, yeah.
Yes.
Anything else from either of you before I move on to the next piece?
Mhm.
I
Okay.
would just say,
Yeah, go on.
I'm trying to ask just some advice or questions. I live really close to my mum's hospice that she
Mm,
was at, and I go past it all the time.
mm,
But I realized it got to a point. It's like I'm just ignoring the place,
mm,
but by me ignoring, it's kind of me. I would say I'm kind of forgetting her, but I don't
mm,
understand if that's bad in a way because I know long period, term, I will forget things that I know now because I'm suppressing myself. I'm not saying I'll forget her,
mm.
but I will. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's me trying having. being touched with a, I don't know, if you get what I mean.
I get what you mean completely. And Claudette, do you want to respond to that before I say anything?
No, you go ahead first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So part of this process we're going through is to recognize. So you've noticed something happens to you when you go past that place and you see. Now, if you feel that you don't have the energy to deal with what that does to you when you go past there, then it's your self-care to make a decision what you do about that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they may come to a point because you've gone through this grieving process where it doesn't have that impact on you anymore, right? Then you're able to do that. So it's understanding that there's stages and phases to this thing, and it's happening through you, and just to let it happen and not to make yourself wrong for any of it. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anything from you, Claudette, on that?
Yeah, yeah, it is about stages and phases. I mean, it's like my close friend that I lost most recently, and he's got a shop near to where I go. Yesterday, I was gone on my way to the post office, and I looked across the road and I saw his shop. And in, from I looked over and I saw the shop, it's like the whole my persona just changed. And because I just memories of him just came straight into my head. And I first thought was, oh my God, uh, my friend so and so is not here now. I can't even get a nice dinner this afternoon. You know what I mean? Because I
Mm,
saw, and that's what, in a sense, it was. But there's days when I go past there and I think, oh, and I feel really sad. And there's days when I go past there and I can, I can take it with a lighter spirit, you know. But it's not like the days when I used to, when he first passed away, I didn't even want to go that way home. So I've moved from being able to go past there and feel a little bit and have a little bit of light. It's a lighter spirit. So I think time, but also it all it all depends on the connection you had with the person in the first place. So the tighter the relationship, the tighter the bond, the more difficult it can be. But nevertheless, you know, I've waded through my mom passing, and I thought I was never going to get over that. But I suppose I see it in a different way. And I know that there's certain times of the year that every time December comes, I feel that my spirit just dips. And I used to wonder why. But I know with searching my heart now, looking at what's going on around me and in me, I came to the awareness that it was linked to the fact that I lost my mom in this early in December. Uh, her birthday's in December, so that I usually find that that week and that day, I was either tinged with sadness or I was tinged with, oh, let me look at old photos. Sometimes I would cry, and sometimes I was just laugh at the things that she would say. So it's something where you just have to sometimes just let it happen. You
yeah,
got to let it happen without suppressing it. Just let it happen. It'll just come out in the way it wants to come out.
yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that lived experience because I think that will help Kelvin see the context and perspective. It's a long journey, it's not a sprint, and it's a
That's it.
lifetime of journey. One of the things we're going to
Yeah.
get to is part of the framework is integrating the wisdom of
Mm.
the experience we're having. And some of that is beginning to realize how much what someone meant to you and what you can do with that knowledge. But the foundation of all of it is this noticing, right? And I want to draw reference to where Claudette was talking about. Sometimes she'll go through the shop, and depending on her state, she will feel a certain way, right? And then sometimes it'll be a different way. The important thing is not to make any of it wrong, right? And this is what I call second arrow because it's like what is happening is already happening, and then you start judging yourself for it happening. So you're piling pain upon pain. the pain is already there, and now you're creating pain for yourself by judging yourself and making yourself wrong. So that's one of the things we want to kind of lean away from, and we want to normalize that grief is happening. You can't really do it wrong because it's doing itself through you, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so let's get to the next piece. This one is called Out There. That thing out there is what it is. How it makes me feel is another thing. I am always okay. I may not feel like it, depending on what's happening inside of me. Take a good look to see what's happening. So I'm going to read that again. Out there. That thing out there is what it is. How it makes me feel is another thing. I'm always okay. I may not feel like it, depending on what's happening inside of me. Takes a good look to see what's happening. What are you hearing?
The first thing that came to me when I first read this is the link between the mind and our emotions.
Okay, say more.
How the feelings usually follow the thought.
Hmm.
Again, I think it's very similar, very close to the first poem,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that it's about noticing and noticing what's happening within you and the influences from outside, what's happening around you and in you.
Hmm.
You know, we're all very good at saying, "Oh, I'm okay." Somebody said you're feeling a particular way.
Hmm.
Someone says, "How are you?" And you go, "Oh, I'm fine, thank you." "Oh, I'm okay." Or you expect yourself to be, and you say it enough people who ask you if you're okay. You end up just saying, "Yes, I'm okay," and then you expect yourself to always be okay
Mm-hmm.
because you've told yourself you are, but you might have told yourself you are, but you're feeling the opposite inside.
Okay, I hear that.
And
All right.
sometimes it's what you've got, that opposite feeling inside is what sometimes make prolonging the grief.
I hear that. I hear that. Hmm. Yeah. And then there's a play on this idea of being okay or not being okay, depending on how you
Yeah.
feel, and we'll come to that. But that's interesting. Hi, Herbert. How are you?
I'm
Um,
good, thanks.
good, good, good. I'm gonna repost the piece in there just for your benefit because you won't see it. Kevlin, yes. What were you gonna share? What came up for you when you heard this?
I'll say the thing out there is what it is.
Yeah.
Literally, it is what it is. Like, there's nothing I could have done about it.
Hmm.
And I understand why it happened, how it happened, and when it happened.
Hmm.
How it makes me feel is another thing because it's like how it makes me feel. Um, I would say it makes me feel that I'm the important person in this. I need to look after myself and do things for me, even though there's people around me. Not
Hmm.
that many, but there are. But I'm the main priority. Because just an example is like when my mum was really like nearly at the end of her life, is I noticed that she distanced herself from me and my siblings
Hmm.
in a way that in a way that I feel like she didn't want to, but she had to because of herself, because she's always been that mum that she always worried about me and my siblings. Like she basically gave up her life just for us. And every time I hear all about other people's mom, this and that, I compare to mine. it's just a constant reminder that I just hit the jackpot with her.
Mm,
But yeah, and then what it makes me feel is that it's like I could notice on her without her speaking to me that she really had to have a strong conversation within herself to separate herself from us, let us live our life.
mm,
Even though at the time I had a 7-year-old sibling, like she literally had to separate herself. I wouldn't say forget about us, but just focus on herself.
mm,
And I can see how hard it was for her. I can
mm,
imagine that. But at the same time, I saw what good it did to her. If you get what I mean. Oh yeah, and then and and I'm okay with that. If it makes
mm.
sense.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, so in my eyes, that was her way of being selfish. But when I say selfish, I mean I never in my life seen that woman put herself first when it came to us. Unless it comes to safety and things like that, but it's always been us. And then just seeing that is just like a reality shock. It felt like something that was never taught by her, if it makes sense. And and then I may not feel it or understand it, but as I get older, I start noticing and realizing a lot. And then that depending what's happening inside me, I would say that's me realizing. Now, I know it's now, but at the time, it was me realizing that I need to focus on myself. I literally got no one. Because the only true love I would say is unconditional love. And then that's the only person on the whole planet that actually gave me conditional love. And my point is, I don't know, I was trying to go there. I'll move on to the next one. Taking a look to see what's happening. Yeah, taking a look to see what's happening. I just realized, like, she was too good, man. Like, she spoiled me, honestly. Like, she made my life too easy in a way that I never kind of knew the world can be bad, horrible.
Mm.
And and it's like, if I think about it, yeah, she really had a bad life. Like, she had like 10 siblings. She's one of the youngest. Her mum was ill. Her dad wasn't present, so they're just giving kids. Like, back in the days, like, they
Mm.
just,
Mm.
hey. And her godmother used to beat her up, literally, like, used to be very toxic and horrible with her. But at the same time, she did learn how to cook, clean, be a housewife, take care of the house, the role of a woman. That's the one thing she always said. Like, she taught me how to be a real woman. Like, and but she used to talk about these things. It's like, if I think about it now, it just sounds horrible. Like, she really had a bad life, but it was never as in she spoke about complaining. It was more like
Mm.
she, she's reminding herself, telling how it happened, telling us what happened, and it's like she found her. No, she didn't find her peace. No, no, I don't know. Sorry, I was just getting a bit emotional, and my foot's just and
It comes out how it comes out, right, Kevin? Comes out,
Mm.
comes out. Yeah. I'm,
yeah, and
I'm, I'm
then
hearing something around your mom and the life she lived and her selflessness, and then how towards the end of her life she had to find a balance of creating space for her own life and recognize that she had to prioritize herself at that point. And I suppose my reflection to you then is what you take from that in terms of you're saying now I am learning that I need to look after myself as I'm going through this grieving process. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
even when she was deceased in front of me, I remember looking at her like, you actually died. Like, it's like, I couldn't believe
Mm,
that she actually managed to pass away. However, it was because of the way she used to come across. She was
mm,
always in pain. She
mm,
always been in pain.
mm,
But sometimes I feel like she did that on purpose, though. It's basically her telling me, look how I am. Look at the state I am now. Look how ugly I feel I am. Not look how I am. It's not even about how she was. It's how she felt.
mm,
mm,
It's
mm,
like,
mm,
you say, look how ugly I am. Look at this. I worked all of this. I lost this. Your dad took this. I built it up again. And now I got nothing. Like, you don't hear me crying about it.
mm,
And you and your siblings are the one moaning about it. Like, it's
mm.
like, go live your lives, mate. Like, if you're going to be around me like this, like, I don't want you here. I don't need you here. But yeah, no way. Yeah. She just, no. And thank you for giving me the space to speak because
Yeah,
I don't think I ever spoke to anyone like this. And then,
yeah. This is why we created this space so that people we can
mm.
normalize the process of grief. I
Yeah.
mean, grief
Yeah.
is something when you've lost, especially when you're talking of a mother. I
Mhm.
mean, there's almost a psychic link between us and our parents, especially a child and a
Yeah.
mother. To lose something
Mhm.
like that, it's going to have an impact. By all means, it's going to
Yeah.
have an impact. And what I'm rejoicing for you is, Kevlin, is that you are learning so much from that.
Yes.
And that is something we're really focused on. Thank you so much for your sharing and for your vulnerability. I'm going to go to Herbert. Anything from you?
I as a, I just joined. I'm not quite sure where you're at. I was just listening to Kevin a
Okay.
while ago, just of understanding and feeling and empathizing just with the vibrations that were coming from him, and just
Mm,
also reciprocating, even though because meaning I don't have to know you to send back strength and energy and encouragement that are non-verbal. That's just how it is. But thanks for showing up in the way that you have.
Mhm.
thank you so much. Okay. Anything else from you, Claudette, before I move to the next piece? And welcome.
Um, yeah, I'm just saying, it's wonderful that we've got this platform where this young man could come
Mm,
and share, and it's there is a lot of strength in being vulnerable, and
Mhm.
you're going through what a lot of us will go through from time to time. We go through these things, and each time we go through them, we learn something, and then the next time comes again, we use what we learn to help us through. But it's natural, and I'm so glad that you found a space to where you can share those feelings. And I hope having this space helps you to manage yourself better.
yeah. Thank you so much for that, Claudette. I want to say a few bits about the piece. Welcome, Mama Kate and Mira. Um, there's something here about the fact that we don't feel okay doesn't mean you're not okay. And this is the
Mhm,
point that I wanted to bring out later. When I use the word you're always okay. I don't mean you always feel okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is that the core of who you are, the essence of who you are, the bit that keeps you waking up every day and being alive, that bit is okay. But you may not feel okay, and that might be because of the experience you're having, the things you're thinking, or the way you're thinking about what is happening out there. What I'm trying to anchor us into is that always know that your deepest essence, what the Christians might call your in your spirit, if you like, that bit is okay. And that's the bit that creates the foundation for you to go through these, like we're talking of grief specifically, to go through your grief experience, knowing that you can come out at the end of it, even if it feels like you might not, right? That's the point we're having here. And what I can say is that there's people on this platform who have lived the experience of losing multiple people, and they are here today because at their greatest core, they're okay, but they went through so many difficult emotions and periods. And so it's to normalize that for you and know that at your core, you are not broken. The fact that you're feeling sad, the fact that you keep crying, but none of that means you're not okay. It just means you're going through the process of grief.
Yeah, yeah. There's a distinction between yourself and the feeling that you're having.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because, I mean, you are not your feeling, it's something that you're experiencing. That's not who you are. And that's why when the dust settles, you're back to being centered, or whatever word you want to use to describe that. You're centered, or your default position, and you're good to go again. And 2 weeks after that, someone sees you in the marketplace and you're smiling and you're happy, or you're laughing with your friend at the bus stop or whatever. And that's who you are. That's the real you. But yes, you went through the experience. Yes, it was difficult. All of that happened and it was very real. But that is just an experience that you had.
Thank you so much for that. And that leads us very nicely to my next piece. This is called Now Breathe. I'm going to read it. There was and there could be all conjecture and possibility. May have been or possibly could. Not much that could do for me, save to focus on this certainty, the me taking this breath right now. I'm going to read that again. Now breathe. There was and there could be all conjecture and possibility, may have been or possibly could, not much that could do for me, save to focus on this certainty, the me taking this breath right now.
Mm.
What are you hearing?
Mm.
I'm hearing very loudly,
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing I can do about the past,
Mm-hmm.
but I can do something about now. The fact that I am breathing right now means that I am alive, and there are things that I can change now. But whatever happened in the past, there's absolutely nothing I can do about that. But what I can do is continue to live and continue to make changes and continue to make adjustments and have my eyes fixed and focused on exactly where I need to go. And at the same time, in the back of my mind, I am saying, understand this, that there may be bumps along the way. But one thing I am certain about right now is this breath that I am.
Love that. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else on this piece?
Frank, sorry I was late,
That's
but
okay.
with hearing Kevin, I know why I've come on the platform. I've just been on a retreat, which is happening today. I've cut off to come here. It's about it's okay not to be okay. That's the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, Kevin, you've just inspired me, because Mama Kate and I, the other lady on the platform, we're 80 years old, and we're hearing it's okay. What was the thing you said about certainly taking this breath right now? We're so thankful we're here today. But you know, I just think as a young man, you have got something, the reality of life, that perhaps I've scouted over in my life, and I've pretended and glossed over things. But I think you're a VIP. You've got value, you've got identity, and you will have a purpose, because that's why you're here, and even on this platform encouraging us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on this piece? Thank you very much for that, Mira.
I want to add that there was and there could be that I used to have a friend that when my mum was going through it, it was really close, extremely close. And then it got to a point that the friend said to me that it's like you're already grieving your mum like before it happened. And this was 2 years before, 3 years before. And she's still fine until it got good. And then I used to tell myself like, oh, I feel like I'm just gonna commit suicide. I can't deal with this too much. But at the same time, I could never do that to my mum. So I just told myself, okay, let her go first and then I'll figure it out. And then when she went, it's like I'm telling myself, okay, I'm ready. Like I don't need to do just end up paying and everything. But now I got a little brother that I want to be there for him. Like, I'm the eldest, and
Amen.
yeah,
Go on, go on.
yeah, and I'm the eldest. One thing I always wanted in life, it was just an older brother, or just a male figure, because my dad wasn't present, because he has his reasons, yeah, but not good enough. But it's like now that he has that, I'm just gonna take away from him, and then it became the same thing again. Okay, so as long as my brother's here, I gotta be here. But I noticed it was the same thought process of when my mum was alive before.
Mm.
And then I was thinking, okay, so if something happens to him, he's gonna be the next one. He's gonna be the next one. It's just gonna be it's just a pattern. And I noticed it was just a way of me just being fearful, not knowing how to regulate myself. But at the same time, I do notice that. Sorry, let me read that question. So not much that could do for me. Save the focus on this certainty that takes the breath from me. Yeah, then I came to realize I'm not talking enough or expressing myself enough or being listened to by the right people.
Mm.
All I needed, really and truly, is just what you guys are doing now. Like, it's just listening. And I try to find that with family members or people that are really close to me. But I always had the feeling that I'm just talking and these people are just here to know what's going on with me. It's not like they care about me. It's just the moment what's going on. And then yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just a bit confused. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kevin. And I want to echo something Muriel said, that you are a VIP, a person of value, importance, and purpose. And
Thank
hopefully
you.
through this journey, you will discover a reason for you to be alive that's not necessarily tied to just being there for someone else, but that you deserve to be here as a person for yourself, who happens to also be there for someone else. Because if I remember correctly, what you were saying earlier is this lesson that your mom learned right at the end of her journey, that yeah, it's all well and good to make your life all about your children, but you have a life too.
Yes.
And what we're looking to do is to learn from those who are no longer here so we can live a better experience of life now. So it's just I agree with Muriel. The amount of wisdom you're gaining from your experience right now is very deep and it's very powerful. And you've got a lot of life in front of you in which to now make that a practice. And then what I know about life is once you learn that for yourself and begin to live it, you will become a teacher for other people
Yeah.
just by who you're being.
Yeah.
Claudia, anything on this piece from you?
Not really. I was the bit where it says the me taking this breath right now.
Hmm.
To me, it's about not sitting in the past, not sitting to think about now, us, how you're being and enjoying living the moment is how important that is. Because if you're not living the moment of your life as it's happening,
Hmm.
because you're dwelling in the past, you're going to find that you're going to miss so much of what's going on because you're not living, you're not recognizing what's happening in the moment. You're not being in that moment. So how can you get pleasure? You can't find no resting place if you're constantly living behind you. You can't feel as if you're going forward if you're constantly looking behind you. So this is about, to me, is about the importance of now, because the only thing we're sure about is now, this moment
Yeah.
that we're in. We're not sure. We're not sure about 10 o'clock tonight. We're not sure about tomorrow, but we're sure about this moment, this actual moment, and those moments are important.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I want to take this piece really and tie a few bits together. Oh, but before I do, Mama Kate, did you have anything?
Well, I was just thinking that the young man is quite stronger than he thinks he is,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that he has the courage to come and make himself vulnerable and let it all out is a healing process for him, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that what most of us do is that we worry about tomorrow or what will be, and because we are worrying about what will be, we are not enjoying what is now. We are not enjoying living now. We are not enjoying. We miss so much on the now. What we could be enjoying, what could be experiencing, what the joy we could glean even from little things that are happening with us now, because we are thinking of tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then we miss up on the now, and even on the tomorrow, which we don't have any control over. We also worry about. Give us ourselves sleepless nights, anxiety. Whereas if we are concentrated on enjoying the now, tomorrow will take care of itself.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Thank you very much.
yeah,
And that links back to something Kevin was saying, isn't it, about this idea of, okay, should I take my life now because this is so painful, I don't think I can handle it? Or no, I can't do that, so I'm going to stay and just see what happens. And here you are. You're still here, and the universe providing a space for you. Who knows? Maybe this whole series was just for you, Kevin. Who knows, right? That the universe cares that much about you that it's created this
right.
in advance for you to come to. Um, but also, I think where this piece is very powerful for you, especially Kevlin, is this idea that if you think about the thinking you were doing at the beginning of this, you were talking about, oh yeah, and then I'm having all these women help me with this. I'm thinking, what if she was here and I could have learned this from her and blah blah blah. So there could be conjecture, possibility, right? So that's oh, you would have been if only this is, and so you're creating kind of sadness out of what could or possibly be. And when you're doing that, I'm not saying it's wrong, but if you're finding that it's not then helping your state that you're in, right?
Okay.
Then the way to reset yourself is to say, okay, what is the one thing I'm sure of? I'm here now. Breathe. And that will help
Yes.
recenter your state. That will help recenter you to go, okay, I'm here now. So what's true for me now? What's here for me now? And then go from there. Yeah. Okay. I got two more pieces, but let's see where we go with this one, and then we'll see if we have time for the last one. Right. So this piece is very short. It's called Horizon. eyes on the horizon, hope in the heart, that when the feet arrive, there will be road there. I read it again, horizon. Eyes on the horizon, hope in the heart, that when the feet arrive, there will be road there. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing or I'm thinking that what the future holds is well, how do I put it? The future is so potent. What is it was could be or is more beneficial, more useful, will be more what's the word now? Satisfying than what is past. There's hope. There is hope. I'm hearing hope. That's right. I'm hearing hope. I'm hearing looking forward. I'm hearing push on.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm hearing hope as well, because Kevlin said he didn't want to take his own life because he didn't want to hurt others. His heart, it's all about his heart. And you've just mentioned hope in the heart, and there is a way forward for the future. So, you know, yeah, soft hearts, just so precious. And we have to hold and keep hope alive. Just keep hope alive.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Anybody else on this piece?
I was thinking. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead,
No,
Claude.
go ahead.
No, this makes me feel like there is life after a loss. There's wherever there's change, wherever there's loss, there's always something new that's going to come out of it. So because I know there's going to be something new, then I can have hope. And you can have hope in that whatever's going to come out of this loss, it's going to work for my good rather than work against me.
I hear that. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Herbert, you were going to go, weren't you?
Yes. Highs on the horizon. And what the young man said is that he didn't want to hurt anyone. That was his horizon. And out of that came hope, not just in the head, but in the heart. And not the heart that pumps, but what I call the consciousness. So that decision was intentional, it was deliberate, and it was also strategic. And out of that, here we have him sitting and having a conversation with us today as the victor, and also as a superhero. He may not be wearing a cape, but I'm seeing that his siblings will see him as the Superman, the Batman, the Rabbit, whoever, but the person wearing the cape, the one who is being looked upon, the one who is being looked to. And I think it's an amazing place to be, with the understanding that now that I have gone up the hill, I wasn't sure what's at the top of the hill, but I've gotten to the top of the hill and I see what's there, and now I'm going down on the other side of the hill. It's easier to go down a hill than to go up a hill. So when your feet arrive at the top of that hill, there will the road start. And it's a place to be open, it's a place to be optimistic, and it's a place to ensure that we are very present.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
I think I'm going to leave the final word to Kevlin on this one. What do you see anything here that speaks to you, Kevlin?
I would say I'll agree with everyone when it comes to hope
Hmm.
because only thing I can think of now when I read that one is that I think of my little brother. It's
Mm-hmm.
like he's 7, he's 10 now, but I've noticed he doesn't talk about her.
Hmm.
He hardly remembers her.
Hmm.
I do talk about her to see how he feels, or whatever, but I guess he just doesn't understand. But when he's 15 or 20, he's older, more stress comes start coming to his life. Like I think that will have an impact on him.
Hmm.
And me, it's like it's like he said, it's like I'm climbing a hill
Hmm.
and I wanna be at the top of that hill for when he approaches me, if it
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like I literally refuse to be climbing up that hill. I mean, I know for a fact he
Hmm.
will get to that hill, up that hill before me,
Hmm.
if I don't change the way I think.
Okay.
And there,
Yeah.
there is, bro, there is hope, if it makes sense. But there is
Hmm.
hope. It's like I need to focus on myself, build my own family.
Hmm.
He's there, I'm here. I'm always gonna be there for him, but I'm not gonna stop my life
Yeah.
to make him feel good whereabout his feelings. No, he has his dad. I have my life. I'm always here for him. Can talk to him, and I'll say that's another thing I learned from my mum, that I can be there for him, but I don't need to do everything for him. I
Hmm.
don't need to live my life for him
Hmm.
Mm.
in a way, because that way I'm kind of stopping my life.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people about this, and I do notice other people that they're going through the same things, but their life is their life. They go on.
Yeah.
And I've seen other people, they just keep it to themselves,
Hmm.
and then they just see no hope, I'd say. Yeah, they just living. But it's like the wise man told me, said to me that life is easy, we just make it hard.
I I hear that. I hear that. Thank you so much. And before I give my closing statements, you've been a true gift, Kevlin, to come here and be that vulnerable with such a raw kind of way of being, and you've given us so much to reflect on. Um, and I'll just share this horizon is this idea, and I think this is a good parting message for you, is that just keep taking one day at a time and keep taking one step at a time and trusting with the hope in your heart that when you're ready to put your foot down, there will be a road there to put your foot on. And one of the things we're going to, if you have the opportunity to keep coming back to this series, one of the things the next bit I think we're going to talk about in recognizing the process is preparing people to support other people when they're going through grief. And I think
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
very helpful to support your brother, because we're going to talk about how you show up. We're going to talk about what plays out, and we're going to talk about the best way to support people. And I completely concur with what you're saying. It doesn't involve giving yourself up completely for someone else. It's knowing that when you put your own mask on, then you can best support other people, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
that's kind of the premise we're going with on that one. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who's shown up today. This has been such a blessed space to be in, and I'm certainly hoping that you're all taking something away from today. In fact, let's check out with that. Claudette, what are you taking away from today?
Um, it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
It's okay.
thank you. Herbert, what about you?
There is strength in being vulnerable.
I hear that. Thank you. Muriel, what are you taking away from today?
I've learnt a lot. Thank
Mm,
you a lot.
mm.
Thank you.
Kate, Mama Kate, what are you taking away from today?
Well, it's it's okay not to feel okay,
Okay.
because really you are okay.
I love that. I love that. I love that. It's so well put. And Kevlin, you get the final word. What are you taking away from today?
I'll take away that I need to keep moving forward, and it really helped me that I kept constantly hearing that it's okay not to be okay. Like, I don't need to put too much pressure on myself. It's just the stages, because it has got a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. Because before, is that this conversation, it feels very genuine, and I'm not really the type of person to just give myself like that if I don't feel trust. And thank you everyone for your words and for listening. And yeah, it's got to keep moving forward. And just a moment. So I know it will happen again. I got people that I love.
It's waves. Next episode, actually. There's waves.
Yeah.
There's waves.
You're smiling. You're smiling. Keep smiling.
Keep smiling.
You're
All
very
right,
handsome.
then. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.